In a small village nestled deep within the lush mountains of northern Laos, the Hmong people lived in harmony with nature, but they also carried the weight of their ancestors' stories, some of which were best left untold. Among these tales was one that sent shivers down the spines of the villagers, the story of the whispering shadows. Many years ago, a young woman named Mai was known for her beauty and kindness. She was deeply loved by her family and admired by the villagers. However, her heart belonged to a handsome young man named Tao, who had promised her a future filled with love and happiness. But fate took a cruel turn when Tao was drafted into the army, leaving Mai behind with a heavy heart. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months. Mai waited faithfully for Tao's return, but the war raged on, and her hope began to wane. One fateful night, as the moon hung low in the sky, Mai heard a soft whisper calling her name. It was a voice she recognized, Tao's. Driven by desperation, she followed the voice into the dark forest, where the shadows danced eerily among the trees. As she ventured deeper, the whispers grew louder, beckoning her further into the depths of the woods. The air turned cold, and an unsettling feeling crept over her. Suddenly, she stumbled upon a clearing illuminated by the pale moonlight. There, she saw Tao, but he looked different. His eyes were hollow, and his skin was pale as if he had walked through the gates of death. "Mai," he whispered, his voice echoing like a distant memory. "I need you to join me. I cannot stay here without you." Torn between love and fear, Mai hesitated. She could see the shadows swirling around him, dark and menacing. "Tao, you're not well. You must return to the village with me," she pleaded. But the shadows began to creep closer, wrapping around her legs like cold tendrils. "Join me, Mai. We can be together forever," Tao urged, his voice now a haunting melody that filled the air. In that moment of weakness, Mai stepped forward, entranced by the promise of eternal love. As she reached out to touch Tao, the shadows enveloped her, pulling her into their dark embrace. She screamed, but her voice was swallowed by the night. The next morning, the villagers searched for Mai, but she was nowhere to be found. Days turned into weeks, and the only thing left behind was her favorite scarf, fluttering in the wind at the edge of the forest. Whispers began to spread through the village, tales of the whispering shadows that lured the unsuspecting into the darkness. Years passed, and the village mourned the loss of Mai. But on moonlit nights, villagers claimed to hear her voice carried by the wind, calling out for help. They warned their children to stay away from the forest, for the shadows were hungry, waiting for the next soul to claim. One fateful evening, a group of curious children, drawn by the tales of the whispering shadows, ventured into the woods. They giggled and whispered, daring each other to go deeper. As they reached the clearing, they heard the soft, sorrowful call of Mai. "Help me, please." The children, frightened yet intrigued, looked at each other. One brave girl, named Lin, stepped forward. "We can help her," she exclaimed, her heart racing. But as she approached the shadows, they surged forward, engulfing her in a whirlwind of darkness. The villagers searched for Lin, but she too vanished without a trace. The cycle continued, and the village became haunted by the tragedy of the whispering shadows. They realized too late that love, when intertwined with the darkness of despair, could lead to a fate worse than death. And so, the whispers continued, echoing through the mountains, a chilling reminder of the souls lost to the shadows, forever trapped in a tragic embrace, waiting for the next unwitting heart to follow their call.